At every level, Curt really was not considered the best, and a lot of times he was overlooked.
Growing up in Phoenix, Arizona, Curt Schilling was a bit of a late bloomer with baseball. Schilling did not make the varsity team at Shadow Mountain High School until his senior year. Then, after a standout season at Yavapai College, where he helped lead the Rough Riders to a third-place finish at the NJCAA tournament, Curt was drafted in the second round of the 1986 amateur draft by the Boston Red Sox. After 2+ seasons with Baltimore, Schilling was shipped to Houston for 1 year and then moved on to Philadelphia. In 1993 with the Phillies, Curt had his breakout year, going 16-7 and was named the National League Championship Series MVP, while leading Philly to an appearance in the World Series. After spending 8.5 seasons with the Phillies, on July 26, 2000, Curt was traded to his hometown Arizona Diamondbacks.
I remember the trade in 2000. We were all very excited to get Curt.
The following year, Schilling teamed up with Randy Johnson to lead the D-backs into uncharted territory for the young franchise. Curt went 22-6 during the regular season, the most wins by a pitcher in the National League.
I don't think I've ever been around anybody who was more prepared for the opponent that night than Curt Schilling.
He really was a guy that was always studying the game, studying each player. He had a book on each player, so he knew their weaknesses, their strengths.
Curt had an alignment on defense where he wanted you to play every hitter, and he let you know before you went out there. And I mean, there were so many times I just almost didn't have to move and the ball come right to me.
Schilling's success carried over into the postseason as Arizona made their way to the World Series against the New York Yankees. Unfazed by the mystique and aura of the Bronx Bombers, Schilling helped lead Arizona to victory in Game 1, pitched well in Game 4, and started the 7th and decisive game, a game the Diamondbacks won in dramatic fashion. Schill's numbers during the playoff run were phenomenal. A record of 4-0, a 1.12 ERA, 56 strikeouts, and 6 walks in 48 innings. Along with Johnson, the big right-hander was named co-MVP of the World Series.
Him and Randy Johnson were a 1-2 punch that was just, that was darn near unbeatable.
The following season, Schilling was sensational once again, going 23-6 with 316 strikeouts. Then, in November of 2003, Curt was traded to the team that originally drafted him, the Boston Red Sox. In his first year in Beantown, Curt went 21-6, and in Game 6 of the American League Championship Series against the Yankees, Curt dramatically pitched Boston to victory with a badly injured right ankle, a performance remembered as the Bloody Sock game.
Now when you look back on it, he had no business being out there, let alone pitching the way he did. I had so much confidence in his ability to get it done that I really just kind of took for granted he'd figure it out.
Boston went on to win the ALCS and take home its first World Series championship since 1918. In 2007, his final season, Schilling won another World Series with Boston. During his 20-year career, Curt won 3 world titles, 216 games, struck out over 3,000 batters, was a 6-time All-Star, and earned the reputation as one of baseball's most clutch pitchers of all time.
You know, you don't see too many pitchers like him that are big game pitchers like that. He thrived in that role. He really did.
If there was a game on the line, that's the guy you wanted to pitch for you.
He's a guy that if my life depended on it, I would want to hand him the baseball.
Curt Schilling will be one of the great pitchers of all time in the history of this state.